You know what they should do, though? They should have someone host this thing. Zing. It's a rough road, isn't it? Gates, would you like to share with us? Go ahead, you should tell that story.
That's a good one. So, Gene with this little anecdote time, and we're honoring Gene on, it was Education First. He's being honored by Education First. What season was that? First?
Season 73, I think.
Yeah. So, and I had asked the costumer to make me this special little outfit, and it had like about 100 little hooks and eyes that went down the front of it. And I had done everything in the fitting, and I thought it looked okay. But she hadn't put on the hooks and eyes, and she said, "Don't worry, I'll get them done. It'll be fine." So we three were going to go together, and in the car, in the limo. There's a limo driver, and we're going to meet at Brent's. So Jonathan and I drive over to Brent's, and we have a little, we toast ourselves, and then we get in oh no, except that what happened was when I was going out the door at my house, everything was fine. It took me like a half an hour to get these 100 hooks and eyes in. And every time I would band, they'd completely come undone. Completely. I don't know, it was like totally awful.
Looked like some people at this convention.
Yeah. It's true. And
you
so,
know what we mean.
And so I arrived at the house and I was totally freaked out. And I said, "Oh my God, you guys, can you help me get these back on?" I could, So they're helping me get it on. We get back in the limo. We sit down in the limo and it opens up. And so, all the way down. And so I'm in the middle.
It's great.
And I'm really anxious about this. And
you were breastfeeding at the time, too,
so
weren't you?
Brent starts at the bottom, and no, I wasn't pregnant. No. Brent starts at the bottom, and he's doing it, and then Jonathan is on top, and he's going, and he's doing them, and he's pressing them into me so that they'll, squeeze
Stay
shut.
closed.
And I'm going,
And I'm looking up, going, what's going on up there?
And I look into the rearview mirror.
Yeah.
And the chauffeur, the driver, is going, wow.
I had forgotten that.
Yeah.
That was a riot.
You ended up, he sewed me into the dress. We got in, he sewed me into the dress.
Very good with fabrics.
And, yeah, very good. Anyway.
Your turn.
You folks don't need me up here.
Yes, we do.
Really do. I did want to ask you about the fact that Next Generation is now 20 years old. This is the 20th anniversary of your show. The original show was 21 years old when your show debuted. And if I recall correctly, I know that George Takei and some others have been very public about the resentment that they felt towards your show because they felt that you folks were encroaching. I know this comes as a complete surprise to you.
Really? George was always so nice.
He's always nice to me.
Oh, Brad, to see you. So great to see you. I love to
Now
be on
he
your show.
does. Yes. But in his autobiography, he said that, when you guys came out, that there was certainly some reservation about, encroaching on their territory. But now you are into 20 years of your show as they were then. Do you sort of empathize with where they were then?
Stay out of our territory, all right?
There you go.
Don't even try.
Because now, obviously, the Paramount has decided to reboot the original show with new characters. So,
They are. Wait, no. Aren't the characters Kirk and Spock?
Kirk and Spock.
Kirk and Spock, but there's
original.
also Sulu and Chekhov and all those guys.
Yes.
They're getting there too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So those aren't new characters.
New actors.
Well, they're new acters playing. The
Yeah, but
original
isn't
characters.
Leonard in it and Bill?
Leonard is in it, and Bill's going to be in it.
Bill's
You know
gonna be
Bill
in
will be
it.
in it. I don't know if Bill's going to be in it.
Well, I think that. I think he's going to be in it. I think
Bill.
the deal's just not inked.
He told me he's not going to do it.
The Shat is out.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Shat is out?
Oh, he's out.
Hey,
wow.
there are a lot of kids here. Speak clean. The kid from Heroes is playing. Yeah. You know what? The fact that is, I mean, when you first hear the idea, you sort of think, what, they're going to have new people playing those characters? But then you think, hey, you know, how many James Bonds have there been, you know? And you think, there's not going to be, no one to replace Sean Connery, and then yet along came Tim Dalton.
Deal with very nice.
Abrams
But now,
is great.
I heard Matt Damon is playing.
No, that was a rumor. That was an ugly rumor.
Does Ben Affleck have a hairpiece, or is that really his hair?
I think it's his hair.
Yeah, those are not his teeth, by the way. No,
Chiclets.
Yeah.
Well, here's the deal with that, with the, you know, how many Supermans and Batmans and James Bonds and Zorros have there been,
Yeah.
and we still buy into the character.
Right.
But I've always said that the single most brilliant thing that Gene Roddenberry ever did was that in 1978, when the Enterprise was completely different, the costumes were completely different, the ship was completely, everything was completely different. The one thing that he did to preserve the credibility of the movie as an extension of the series is that he insisted on bringing the original cast back into the movie, when he could have easily have recast all of the characters. I don't think that we as a fandom would have accepted the movie as easily and as quickly as we did had any other actors been playing those roles.
But the characters they wrote, I mean, the Spock and Kirk and the rest of the crew that they wrote for this movie, this upcoming movie, are all very young.
Yes.
So, you know, I'm not casting any aspersions, but, you know, I couldn't particularly play Data. Again, I don't think, given my advanced age.
Actually, you could.
You think?
I do think so. And let me tell you why.
Who else would play
I know that you've said for years that, you know, because you age and Data does not,
Right.
that there would come a point where it would be realistic.
Right.
But the thing is, they now have digital special effects. Don't get ahead of me. You know, in the last X-Men movie, they
Right.
used a certain technology
Right.
to de-age Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen for
Right.
a flashback that was, what, about 15 years prior, I believe?
Right. But that was a very short
but
sequence, you
couldn't
know?
he-
Well, it was.
That's because they couldn't act any younger. Wasn't it?
But no, it was a short sequence. I think if you did a whole film like that,
Yeah, just
you've got like about a $900 million movie to make, you know? What was that?
Sequels.
Sequel to what? I like that word too. Matter of fact, I want to say it. Sequel.